Chocolate eyes. Chocolate eyes.
So, a creature for my amusement. Prepare for battle.
Well, it's nighttime, don't you know? There's a place you need to go. Grab your gal and grab your bow, cause it's time for the secret show. If you're feeling sad and low, and you're running out of dough, make it quick, don't take it slow, and head for the secret show. It's time for the secret show.
Groovy gravy, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever the fuck it is, wherever you're at. I don't give a shit. It is le show des secrets, as they say in French gibberish. We can, fuck it. I'm just gonna bring in. I don't give a shit. There's Lucy. Wait a minute. Let's do this. There she is.
Am I double?
Hey.
I'm
You're-
doubling.
You are double. You're like toil
Okay.
and trouble. Look, this is called TV production, lady. All right,
Oh,
get it
okay, okay.
straight. All right. So let's go back here. See, so now you're half of a lady. We got Rick in the house. Chuck's Intergalactic UFO Show. He had another show last night too. He came back to Earth and did that shit. CJ's in the house. Good to see you. Peace, Dove. Anonymous. Willie Bragg Show. Greetings to everyone. I'm at work, but listening. Is
Hi,
he?
Willie.
If he was at the office, he'd be at Denny's. That's his office. You know that, right? The CBC voters here too. I think that's it right now. I'm sure some others will file in as we go. Look who's here, everybody. Lucy's here with her giant head in the screen. Why don't you back up? What the fuck's going on? You know me. I'm just clowning. No, I'm just kidding. When she was on ExtraBulla Live, and I was making fun of her. I was calling her Jesus Candle because she had this light right behind her.
Yeah, the light is above, but yeah, sometimes I like point this. Whatever.
I think you.
I'm very not serious about
She don't care.
about my channel.
Yeah, Lucy's like, I like my shit to look like a hostage video. Like you should hold up today's paper so you get proof of life.
It is proof of life when it looks like that. So
Look, some of us we do quality television production, but have shit for content. See, you just have shit for television production, and you have quality content. So see, that's why I brought you on the show.
I feel like I can't put too much effort into both things. Like I could do either one or the other, but not both.
It's fine. I mean, I would rather you focus on the content because you always got good stuff. You bring the goods, So, and me, I'm just like this goofy white guy who worked in TV for a while and said, you know what, I can make these graphics and stuff. And then I get on here and I'm like, and there's some drool and then people throw
It's
rocks.
not, yeah. Well, it's not true. I know that there's well, you know what it is? It's like after a while you're like, I can't stress myself out taking things too seriously anymore.
You can't. I mean, there's so much sadness in the world right now that we have to have stuff like idiotic stuff like this to kind of break that trend, because I mean, we need to focus on the serious things, but not all the time. Otherwise, you just go crazy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's where I am too. At this point, it's like, but if you think about it, like all the unserious campaigns and stuff that are going on, it's like, who's the Joker?
Yeah, I'm starting to think everybody's a Joker. Really? Where the fuck's Batman? You know? Batman's in a closet somewhere going, no.
Yeah, like doesn't want to come out.
No, fuck that shit. And he closes the door, and Robin's like, dude, are you gonna, the Joker, there's like 10 billion of them.
There's
fuck that.
Outbreak in the city. In your city of Chicago.
Yes, I'm the Joker here. But I'm kind of like Dollar Tree Joker. You know, I just like, I'll put on green hair and I'll just go out and go at somebody, and they'll like, the fuck's wrong with this guy? Did he just shit himself? What happened? You're not feeling, look, I gotta tell everybody because I want you to get some sympathy. Lucy's not feeling very well tonight, so she's not gonna be with us too long tonight. She's not dying. I don't mean like she's gonna leave the earth. I'm just saying that, she's got some issues with her health. So, be kind, people. All right. And if you can't, well, go fuck off. So, that's how we do things around here, man. We need to jump to it since, you're on your deathbed. Lucy's terminal, but she's managed to take time out of her last remaining moments and come on a dumbass show.
This is where you last saw me.
That's how I can get guests. It's like, oh, she's dying. No, she can still come. She's still got a pulse, right? Yeah, bring her on. So I usually have little fun videos for the kids because they got their grades up. They're doing well in school. They haven't murdered anybody, so I give them little treats. Like I'm doing like this thing here. This is they hooked a camera up to a balloon and it went out into space. So if y'all want to see this is fun. So
a YouTuber managed to make the most of their potential camera of him, sending her off with an improvised balloon beyond the stratosphere, reaching space and capturing amazing
This is like some
footage.
redneck shit. Hey, y'all go up to space.
Hey, he started his adventure
stick your phone on this balloon, man.
Texas
Stick it up there
to take some beautiful pictures.
Look up.
As reported by Indy 100. However,
I don't know if
the
it's a
balloon
phone
began
or a
to rise
GoPro,
higher and higher
but it
in the
had to
sky,
have like
and eventually transcended the atmosphere, reaching the
like a SIM
vastness of
card on it,
space.
so for
The balloon
GPS, so they
conquered
could find the
space.
fucking thing.
In the video, the camera
watch
appears to
this.
move away from the courtyard of his farmhouse, which
The
gradually
balloon's
becomes
gonna pop
one
here. It's like,
with
look
the
at that. That's
uniform
like in
green
space.
surface of the plane.
Shit.
After
And
a
they
few
just like
seconds of blur,
that's not that stupid.
the camera
like, there
flew
are
above the
people,
clouds,
like
floating
I
in
know
a
because
sea
I
of
used to
white.
read the Darwin Awards
The
a
shot
lot.
Yeah.
I have no life.
I love the Darwin Awards. They're the best.
Yeah, and people like every year people die trying to fly, right? And there was like a big one time I remember about like a priest in Brazil that he decided to go up there and he died flying. He like went up in the balloon. He tried to like tie his chair to a balloon or something. He went up and then he saw like a plane go by. I think like the way you die is like you freeze to death.
Yeah.
Once you reach a certain level.
Yeah, because the guy was only wearing Speedos, right? I mean, it was just like very, very cold. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then it lands, and then you see grass, and well, that's fucking it. So,
well, that's pretty cool, actually. I mean,
we try to do some.
I feel
sorry
that they lost their electronic device, but
there was a movie about a guy. I can't remember the name of the movie. Probably somebody in the chat knows. But it was a guy, he strapped like a shit ton of balloons to a lawn chair, and he strapped himself in the lawn chair, and he and he went up. Peace Dove and John Kemper in the house. Good to see you guys. Welcome. Yeah, so they just went straight up, and I think he had a parachute on or something. So when the balloon, you get to a certain point and there's no air or whatever, and the balloons I think pop. And then he fell, and then he jumped off the chair and but they actually had this thing like real sciencey kind of thing. Like they had like this special sitting like a chair, but it was like, I don't know, it was like some NASA built shit. And dude went like way the fuck up. I think it was like the highest anybody's ever parachuted before. And he jumped off. He was like, I think he was up like maybe 100 or 200,000 feet or something like that, which is like a few miles. You know, would you do something like that?
No.
Why not? Why use that chair that you're sitting in now and just tie like a couple of balloons you get at Dollar Tree? It's
No, maybe when I want to go, you know, maybe the day I want to go.
Well, you are dying tonight, so in your last few minutes of doing this dumb show, maybe we could strap the chair with some balloons and set you up. All right. Well, I know. See, you brought in some last minute goodies that I want to get to. So let's get through these little things. This is a quickie. So this, I don't know where this is. They did this in 2015. So this is the sun at the same time every day for a year. So, and I guess there's the sun right there. Well, they kind of cheated. This is January 2nd, or maybe I don't have it rewound all the way. Oh, fuck it. January 2nd. Close enough. So look at it. It just goes.
That's beautiful.
Oh, but wait, it gets cooler. Watch this. It does like a figure 8. Look at that, like an infinity sign.
That's amazing.
I know, right? Isn't that cool?
That's amazing.
It started here, and then that's why I think there's stuff in the universe that we just don't understand. Like, I mean, we understand how the sun works, and so like the sun's here, and then the earth goes around the sun like this. And
is that where the symbol for infinity comes from?
I don't know. I don't know if it comes from this, but you know, it could have been like ancients way back in the day would track the sun. You know, like those people that was like really good at math back in the day that would use sundials and would like ancient astronomers would check where the sun was. You know, like Stonehenge. There's like at the summer and winter solstice, the sun shines through these two particular things. It's like Manhattan-henge. You know what I'm talking about? You know how the light does in Manhattan like a few times a year? It's the same thing, but they predicted when it would be, and you know, they may have tracked the path of the sun over a year and said, yeah, and it does it forever, so they just said infinity. I'm making that up. I totally don't have any.
No, that makes sense.
Historical
that makes complete
perspective
sense
on that. Thank you, because in my head it sounded kind of stupid, but you know, see, that's what I'm glad you're here for that.
It's infinity because you can't leave the loop.
That's right.
So that's it.
That's right. It's like
in computer science how you can't leave a loop, a for loop.
It's like cults, right? You know, you can't leave.
Yeah, you can't leave. You can leave the cult if you want, but
that's the thing. If you're in the cult, you don't want to leave the cult because you're feeling all culty, right? You're cultivated. If you're in a farmer cult, you're cultivated. See, I got a thing for that. Wait a minute, is it there? There we go. I forgot it. All the other shows don't have sound effects, but this one does. So, we got Yona and Old Man Barker in the house, which they'll be live at the Civic Center this Saturday. Be sure to tip your waiters. I got other shit here. This is okay. So, oh crap. I got too many bells and whistles. So this guy, he's talking about this crystal and how it can be used as a storage device. It's wait, hang on a second. I'm gonna crank up this audio just a smidge, you know, for the kids and for you and me. And check out this. This is really cool. Hopefully I got this set up. Okay.
Scientists just encoded the entire human genome onto this, a memory crystal. It can hold a staggering 360 terabytes. That's 82 years worth of non-stop HD video or almost every episode of Lost. It hides information in 5 dimensions and is made of quartz glass, meaning it's resistant to extreme temperatures, direct impact, and cosmic radiation. It could keep data safe for an estimated 300 quintillion years. Information is written to the crystal using a femtosecond laser pulse, impulse to make tiny voids as small as 20 nanometers. These voids can be varied in height, length, width, orientation, and position. That's 5 dimensions of encoding. When another laser then reads the crystal, these nanostructures change how the laser light is reflected and polarized. In billions of years, when future civilizations uncover these crystals, they'll have the entire human genome at their fingertips. Maybe the only evidence of humanity left behind, other than obviously a stack of Nokia 3310s. Maybe we should have just... never mind. Follow for more.
Nokia 310s. I love a good Nokia reference. Because you don't get those anymore. But yeah, I mean, it's a crystal that can hold information basically forever. So like we could put like the whole history of the bullshit that's going on right now on one of those crystals, and then like in a trillion years people will be like, man, they were some fucked up people way back when, you know. But you know, they'll probably have like live in space and shit like that, and they won't give a fuck about us, right? You know, what do you think? You think that was pretty cool, or did you like the guy's?
I mean, I thought it was pretty cool. It's just like, I don't know if I want to preserve the information about our era.
You know, people are they're just gonna fill it with porn. You know, that's just gonna be like, they're just gonna download everything from Pornhub and stick it on there. And
yeah, it's gonna be like, well, you know, sometimes it's like this with like the artifacts. You know, when you're looking at how they lived, and probably people in the past would have laughed like, you know, that their combs. It's actually kind of funny. Like, I remember I went to a museum. I went to a museum once where they had like a bunch of household objects, like, and how they had it progressed over the years. And one of them was like combs, you know, like it was like party invites, like invites for parties. They used to put them on these cards.
Oh yeah.
And
don't they still do that? They don't make party invites, or they just email people. They don't.
Well, they kind of looked like playing cards. I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh, like deal them out cards, those kind of things.
Yeah, it looked like that a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
With like figures dancing and stuff. Like, I don't know. It was just like random household stuff, like, and also like combs and like other, you know, household objects. And it was like scissors, you know. It's crazy. It's actually really crazy to see how like scissors have evolved over the years. So probably in the future, everything that we have, like every household object, will be something super interesting to somebody in the future. Even though for us, it's just like, you know, just part of daily life and not that interesting.
Everything will be made out of lasers. It'll be just everything's lasers, refrigerators. But you know what? You talk about combs. I used to have a comb with a handle on it. Did they have one of the combs like that? And you do it like this, you know, with the comb.
Yeah, and like the handle, like it, like I mean, it was very clumpy and then the design changes over time. You know, it's interesting. It's interesting to see how the designs change over time, and it's also interesting to see because like we're like bigger than humans used to be because like nutritional, you know, like, so you know, when you go to the museum and you see all the knights in their armor, they're like midgets. Like they're like midgets because people were really short back then because like the nutritional access of like the average person was like nothing. So our ancestors were like midgets.
Yeah, they were they were like yeah, I think like around 3 feet tall, something like that. It was and there's still people, like indigenous people in these like places that we haven't been to yet that are you know, that have like these little pygmy type people that are the ancestors of these smaller humans, like the Hobbit people that they used to be. They weren't called hobbits, but they their nicknames were like Hobbit people because they were short like that, and I think they had big hairy feet and they ate like 70 times a day. John, do you remember the peace picks? You know, it was like the brothers would have like the pick, but at the end of the handle there would be a fist like this. I always call them the peace pick because this was like, you know, right on, you know, doing the peace pick. That was in the 70s too. You ever seen those, Lucy, the peace picks? Do you have a pick, or do you have hair like that? Do you use
I don't have a pick. My hair is not that thick. I mean, my hair is pretty thick, but not that thick. I don't have one, no.
You need a pick for the thick? That's what it is? I didn't know that. That's sick.
Yeah.
What's the trick? John said he's got one. He said he's got a piece pick. Those things are awesome. We should I want to show the kids because they're like, piece pick? What the fuck are you talking about? Old man yells at cloud. If I put piece pick in Google, it'll probably say what? I don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, what's a piece pick?
It's wait a minute. Hang on a second. Hair pick fist handle. Okay, I think they're called fist picks. Oh, sweet. All right, hang on a second. Open link in new. No, not link. I want the picture. I want the image in new tab, scientist. Okay, here we go. That's what they look like. Look at that. Look at that. See, I've never seen the one with the B in the middle there. But this is the fist at the end. John, that's
I have. That's beautiful.
That's what the B stands for. It stands for beautiful, or it stands for black. I don't know. But if you had a Jufro, you could have one of those too. So, but me, I have very thin hair. I had what they call, or what I call Allman Brothers hair. It was just when it grows along, it's just long and straight, and I always have the butt cut in the middle. Did you ever call it the butt cut? You ever see that? People with hair parted in the middle? We always call it the butt cut. It looks like a butt. I'm just blowing your mind with these facts tonight, right?
I know. Yeah. No, I didn't know that.
John has a fro. You don't use relaxer, John? Come on, man. You just let your soul glow. Somebody give me my activator. I think that was from Coming to America, but that's an old movie. So we got to get through my little goodies so we can get to your goodies, because tick tock. It's already 11:30. If you could make a wish, Lucy, like you had a genie, and the genie, instead of 3 wishes, said you have 1 wish. I mean, what would you wish for?
I don't know. Would it be dumb to say world peace, because I'm gonna sound like one of those people on America's Top Model or something?
Well, let's say
I want world peace.
Let's say world peace, right? Let's say you wish for world peace. So the genie could be an asshole and say, okay, which peace? And you're like, no, peace on earth, like everybody's not fighting. So everybody stops fighting, and then he just basically puts everybody to sleep. Because he's an asshole. Peace. Yeah, because it'd be peaceful. People wouldn't be fighting because they'd be fucking sleeping. So I found this video. I think there's one that's like 7 or 8 minutes long. I was like, I'm not doing that. But this one's pretty fun with this genie guy. And the guy is being very like lawyer-like about his wish. So check this out.
I shall grant you 3 wishes, but be warned, for any wish may come with a dumb loophole or catch. Yeah, no, I know, I'm very prepared for that. Thought this through. Okay, check this out. Wish number 1, I, Jeff Brooker of Sound Mind and Body, wish for the ability to run any potential subsequent wishes by you, and have you tell me what the secret catch would be before I officially lock it in as my selected wish. A wish audit. How about that? Burns a wish, but make sure my next 2 haven't really come across this before. Very well, your wish is granted. All right, let's do this. All right. What would you say if I wished for the ability to fly? Ah, loophole. I'd grant you a commercial license to pilot small single-engine aircraft. Oh, sneaky. Yeah. Okay, what if I wish for like the ability to fly of my own body in like a bird-like self-propelled flight way? Now you're a housefly, 24 hours to live. Okay, what if I wish to fly and for you to know exactly what I mean when I wish to fly? Catch, technically 2 wishes. First wish, you're a housefly again. Second wish, I would know what you would hope to have wished for. Okay, these are tricky.
So I think
careful what you wish for.
I think I grabbed the wrong one. There's a longer one where he says, and he goes through this long, like lawyer type written thing, and he runs it by the genie, and the genie says, okay, we'll wish for it. And then he's holding this notebook with all the shit that he wrote down, like he's holding here, with the notebook. And then he says, okay, I wish for this. And then he says, so the genie says, okay, your wish is granted. You own the notebook you already own. So instead of granting him the wish of the long ass shit, he said, because he said, I wish for this. And he said, okay, well, So I thought that was pretty funny. And I'm like, you know what? If I was a genie, I would be a fucking asshole too, like that. Because fuck people. Well, you say he looks periwinkle? Watch your mouth, John. We got a lady present. Oh wait, you were talking about the something else. Did you ever watch Game of Thrones? Were you ever a Game of Thrones fan?
I did. I watched it. I got tired after a while.
It is.
I have I like science fiction, but sometimes I get tired. I'm not one of those people that
it's not science fiction, Lucy. It's fantasy.
Fantasy.
It's fantasy. How did I get that in there?
It's fantasy. I watched it, but I don't know. I burned out on Game of Thrones a little bit. I don't know how you feel about it.
Well, I think once George R.R. Martin, he never finished the books, right? That the show was based on. So it got to the point where it got to the point where he had stopped writing, right? He's still writing it. So it took the showrunners to do it, and that's when all the dumb shit started happening.
Yeah.
But one thing they got right was there was a spin-off to Game of Thrones, and it was Redneck Game of Thrones. Okay? That's the setup, ladies and gentlemen. Redneck Game of Thrones. This is some fun shit. So let's this is our friend the flying alligator. Okay.
Down in Wester Hollow where the country folk plotting, it's king of the porch, but his seat's getting hot.
I want to see this.
They all have mullets.
Dreaming of a man whose teeth ain't all lost. Ari's in the yard swinging.
Look at that unibrow.
Oh. And Brand's rolling around since
Brand.
From that old TV.
It should be like a four-eyed raven. This is obviously this is all AI too, so. Which is a little spooky.
Cersei's in the yard, winking at her kin. Jamie's with his sister, and it ain't no sin. Tyrion small as a stump, but drinks like a mule. He's guzzling down beer while y'all act the fool. Talons pulling strings, scheming in the dark. The mountains crushing folks, just tearing them apart.
Intensifies. Me and Willie and Yona know about this from the south, so.
Everybody's related in this tangled up scene. King of the trailer park, that's the redneck dream. Joffrey's barking orders, making folks kneel, but the holler's got eyes and his fate's sealed. Little fingers pimping girls, dealing in the shade. Varys hears it all, but silence gets him paid. Daenerys rolls up slow.
This is on that flying alligator.
Swamp Queen's in charge and she's ready to ride. Out in Wester Hollow where the trailers lay, the Lannisters and Starks all fight every day. Everybody's related in this tangled up scene. King of the trailer park, that's the redneck dream. Stannis holding tight, claiming he's the king, but down in the holler no one cares about a thing. Melisandre's lighting candles, preaching real odd, while Jon's still wondering if he's even Ned's squad. Oder's just holding the door, bless his simple brain, but in the game of trailers only the ruthless remain.
Well, she does enough crystal meth, she's probably gonna end up doing that anyway.
Wester Hollow where the trailers lay, the Lannisters and Starks all fight every day.
Westeros is a trailer park.
Scene, king of the trailer park, that's the redneck dream.
I found that today and I was like, oh shit, that's just gold.
They gotta do it. I would watch it.
Would you? I don't know.
I would. I watched Duck Dynasty for, you remember like the whole drama? They were
you
like
watched
they said something racist or something. I was like, I can't believe they took it off there.
What, dumb rednecks that somehow got into money saying something racist? Boy, I can't believe that. Marcus, what's up, man? Great show tonight. I'm assuming the show is over. Otherwise, you're double dipping. Otherwise, you're a very talented man. They could do 2 shows at once like that. So, they're like, fucking AI. I know, right? But yeah, they did all that with AI too. I thought that was pretty good. That's where everything's going. Doesn't the AI scare the shit out of you?
Well, Not really. I mean, what could be worse than the shit that is currently now? You know.
What if the shit that's going on now is AI and we just don't know it?
Yeah, it's possible.
I'm kind of hoping it is, because then it would mean it's not real. But unfortunately, I'm pretty sure it's fucking real. We got Snipe Hunter in the house too. Good to see you. Everybody coming out to see you, Lucy. You know, you're what they call a draw. So they sure as fuck wouldn't come out to see me. They'd be like, man, fuck this guy. And then but then I bring out the redneck, Game of Thrones.
No, but you bring out the redneck great Game of Thrones. I would not have found that on the internet.
That's what I call my ace in the hole. That's my ace in the hole. I pull out that redneck. Shit. Ding. We got a couple more goodies, and then we'll get to the fucked up Lucy shit. I just called it that. So back in the 80s, I think this is the 80s, they had some pretty wild commercials. I don't know how this is going to look, but I don't really give a shit. This is only like a minute, but they had one for, what is this? What the fuck was this called? This is a banquet. You ever heard of banquet frozen dinners? You go to the freezer section and it's just like these little shitty, TV dinner looking things. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they had actual, holy shit, why are you doing this? They had actual commercials for them, and this one is like kind of out of left field. So let's watch.
Now, from Banquet comes...
What is it, Cynthia? What is it?
Giblet gravy and sliced turkey.
Yes, giblet gravy and sliced turkey, together in the most significant frozen dish of our time, buffet supper.
Winner of 3 Banquet Academy Awards. Best sliced turkey.
Best performance by a giblet gravy in a supporting role.
Best performance by a housewife.
I just put it
Best
in the oven,
performance by a housewife.
and by and by it was done. And I had a delicious buffet supper. Oh, yes, I did. Slices of turkey, all covered with gravy and little bitty giblets. Do you hear me?
From the same producers who brought you Beef Stew
Salisbury steak with gravy.
and the unforgettable chicken and dumplings comes the outstanding banquet production of the 20th century. Giblet gravy and sliced turkey.
They probably get
Colored
sued
by
for
paprika.
that.
Now appearing citywide in the
America
frozen
in a
food
nutshell.
section near you.
That was America way back in the day. When that was before the internet and when shit got fucked up. Okay. So now we're past all my goodies. But I remember those TV dinners, and they were just awful, and they're still awful. It's just like cardboard that they put gravy on. It's just nasty. Yes, Desert Mantis, good to see you. Giblet gravy. That's code for hot prison sex. Wait, what? Come on back here. That's what I heard on the internets. Listen, okay, so all right, so we've got the Beatles thing we were talking about. We got Diddy with special guest future Willie Bragg. Sorry, Willie, I know you're in the chat, but this is you in the future. You clean up nice, by the way. The Clock Tower or the Piers Morgan. What do you want to do next?
Maybe a Piers Morgan quickly. I don't want to talk about him for too long.
Do you want sorry, I'm just crying. I'm still thinking about the rednecks. Do you want to is there a particular spot in this video that you want, or do you just want to see his face and just make fun of him?
Just see his face, yeah.
Okay, let me do this. We can make fun of his accent too. Let me turn it down a little bit so we can talk over it. All right, so I'm not a big fan of this guy, but I'm a big fan of Lucy making fun of him. So
what I'd like this to be is a civilized debate between two people with very strong opinions about this.
Wherever we see suffering, wherever we see death and destruction,
he's just an awful person.
Sexual assault.
Now, who are these people? Who's this guy?
To the rescue.
I know who this is.
I can't hear him very well. Or is it just
Of
me?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Mohammed, attacking a lawyer
Yes.
for defending people is a stupid argument.
Stop looking at me when I'm speaking to you.
So
What's
here's
this
the
got to
thing
do
that
with
bugs me
Israel?
about Piers
This shows you the
Morgan, right?
bias
is
the
like
bias in the coverage.
the British stereotype on steroids. He's like,
boy.
Good boy.
what we're doing here is we're going to have a civilized debate. It's like, fuck you, man. You know, and he's like pretending to do like arbitrage between
like, do a
like,
debate, don't agree to do it.
you know, the Israelis and Palestinians when he's like the biggest cunt of them all. Like, I really think Piers Morgan is like the biggest cunt of them all, and he's like, well, what we're here to do today is have a civilized debate. I you know, and I gotta say, like, his whole little act, you know, where he's pretending, this is like a super British personality trait too. You know, it's like the British Empire on steroids, where it's like they inserted the problem in the Middle East in the first place. They're responsible for the whole thing, and then they run these fucking talk shows where they're like, well, we're going to have a civilized debate, and they pretend to be doing arbitrage, and it's like he's the worst one. In every fucking episode, he's the worst one, and I live to see the day, which I doubt would happen because these like Israelis are so brainwashed. But I live to see the day when they'll both turn on Piers Morgan. Like that's like the only thing at this point that I want to see on the Piers Morgan show is I live to see the day when they'll both turn on him. But it seems like that's never going to happen.
Look at his face. He looks like he has a Zionist cock in his ass. Doesn't he? He's like, oh, more Zionist cock in my anal rectum, please. Proper. Bob's your uncle. Yes, I'm not a big fan either. Well, he's a huge propagandist. You know, he still works for the BBC, doesn't he? Doesn't he do like the morning show for them or some shit?
Yeah, and like I don't know what you guys think about it, but it's like the biggest revenge of all at this point to me would be like to not fucking watch Piers Morgan. I mean, it was fine like a year ago. It was like, oh, you know, people were learning about this.
Unless you're making fun of him like we are, then it's totally you should totally watch Piers Morgan. To make fun of him and call him out for being a genocide apologist.
Yes, don't watch the show directly. Just watch people that cover it, so that he gets as few views as possible.
Look at these guys here. This guy's like, he's like, Piers, don't you realize you have a Zionist cock in your ass? And Dershowitz is over here and says, yeah, it's my cock.
Yeah.
I hate Alan Dershowitz. He is such he's like an old dog turd that you didn't pick up, and then at the end of the summer you find it and it's just this white log. That's what he is. He's a white, dried, powdered dog turd.
I mean, he's a piece of shit, but Piers Morgan is worse because he pretends he's like the good guy and he's a piece of shit.
What do you think about like his English counterpart, Tucker Carlson? What do you think about him?
Tucker Carlson is also a piece of shit.
Thank you. That was the response we were looking for. Wait a minute, Snipe Hunter I'm sorry, Snipe Hunter. We don't like white people in here. So I got to add you as a moderator. So it's just a thing. I don't like white people in here. You know, those crackers. But yeah, you haven't watched TV in 6 years. Yeah, I only watched Lucy doing this. We already played this prop. Well, you want to play again? We're not actually listening to it. We're just making fun of him. So, you know, he's probably talking about, oh, you're so deep in me. You know, and it's like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, you're right. He's a fucking propagandist. Just like all these all these people in here, they're not trying to, you know, get people to talk to each other. They're trying to get people to argue with each other because they want people to see arguments.
I want like one time. I mean, I know that like people won't do this because they'll mess up their access to the Piers Morgan show, and like BBC has so many viewers and stuff. But I just want one day one of the guests to be like, you know what, Piers? Fuck you. Like, fuck you, Piers.
Wow, there's a hot take.
Waiting to see the day. I wonder who's going to do it.
We got,
fuck you, Piers Morgan, and fuck off. Like,
fucking honkies.
I can't.
We got
can't take it anymore.
We got Kill Your Egregores in here. Good to see you, my friend.
I mean, this tragedy has absolutely like blown up his career. If you think about it, nobody used to fuck. Who the fuck used to watch Piers Morgan before? I mean, was he always this like? I never watched him, and now
I never did either.
Watching Piers Morgan all the time as if he's some authority. He's some British authority on the fact that the British fuck the entire world, you know? And he's like, I just didn't know. What we're here for is a civilized debate. Fuck you.
But that's the thing. He knows it's not going to be civilized. That's the whole point. But he tries to take the high road where he's like,
that's it. That's like the British thing, you know? It's like taking the high road. They pretend they're always fucking taking the high road, and they're the worst ones.
He's like a British Jerry Springer. Right. But Jerry Springer bring these people on stage like, now you say you were cheating on your wife, right? Now we're trying to keep it civil. And then the next thing you know, chairs are flying. And then you got, KKK and neo-Nazis fighting. And then, and
it's like Jerry Springer has no responsibility for this because, and people,
I'm just trying to bring people together, I'm just trying to get people to talk. And by talk, I mean bash each other over the head with fucking metal chairs that we happen to have here on this stage. Right, yeah. So it's like, it's like wrestling. If you think about it, they want them to fight. But see, shows like this, we bring people together, Lucy, that are like Piers Morgan, that British crumpet. He ain't bringing nobody together. You know what I'm saying? He's like Captain Crunch. He's just like poison, and being fed to children. I don't know where I was going with that.
It's like, what could possibly happen? Let's bring over this Zionist supremacist and a member of the Muslim Brotherhood. Like, let's put them on the same show and just, see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Right. He's like, now we have this Zionist on who wants to kill all of your children. And now we have this gentleman whose children were killed by Zionists. So let's have a civil conversation. And, and then
it's outrageous. It's got to stop. Like the Piers Morgan, you're absolutely right. I would say Jerry Springer is probably a step above him in terms of pumping out cheap drama to the entire world, because at least he focused on like civil domestic lawsuits only.
Right. He was just he just had on guys and their baby mamas, right? But the kids were still alive. It was the difference, right? And there was always that one lady that came from backstage, and he would choose her, and then the other lady that was on stage, she would just and she'd run and she'd go to the back and then get on the couch. Oh, maybe that was Maury Povich. I think you ever watch Maury Povich where he has the DNA test? What? Oh, the DNA tests? Yeah, he'd have people on. Couples, and it's like that, they all, more often than not, they'd be rednecks, and he's like, that ain't my baby. I didn't stick my dick in that. No fucking way.
Those shows fucked us up, because we used to watch those as teenagers. I would watch them and I'd be like, I'm never getting married.
Well, think about think about the evolution, right? It really started with Phil Donahue, right? And he was the first one who would go out into the audience, and the audience would talk to, ask questions of the people, the guests on there, right? And then Oprah came along. She did the same thing. But then you had Jerry Springer, and then Maury Povich. I think Morton Downey Jr. was one of these people too. And it was just all for the redneck show. It was all about, now I know you like incest, all right? So I know you had sex with your sister, maybe two sisters. So what do you want to tell your girlfriend today? It's just like, I can't believe you fucked both your sisters. One of them I can understand, but both of them, fuck you. And then the sisters come out and she's like, and then she runs away. Yeah, it's like wrestling without the wrestling, kind of, but it's like the wrestling with the rhetoric, that kind of thing. Classic afternoon after school. That was the thing when I was in high school, that's when you'd see shit like that. Like, I think when I was in high school though, I think Jerry Springer came along in the 80s. I think he was originally in Chicago, like local, and then he went he was what do they call that? Right. Syndicated. He was syndicated, so everybody got to see him. And it was just like, first time I saw Jerry Springer, I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, I think I may know a couple of these people that's on this show.
Can you imagine Jerry Springer Israel version? Oh, I could do a script writing for this. Like what? Okay, you know how the Israelis have this thing where they like take the sperm, right, from like dead soldiers on the field.
What? No.
Yeah, because they want to create. Because they're in a birthing competition with the Arab world, right? So right. They want to like boost their numbers. It's like Nazi ideology practically, but they want to boost their numbers, right? So like since they consider like the Zionist sperm or whatever special, they literally like pump the junk out of these dead soldiers.
Wait! Hold on a second. They would like jerk off these dead soldiers, or would they?
Yes, I mean, I'm sure they have some technology to do it.
How does that work?
And then like who like are they like inseminating women, like new women? Are women, are they like recruiting women and then they're like, oh, welcome to Israel, bing.
Well, if they're dead, then they already have a stiffy, right? So I'm sorry. Wait.
And that's why I'm crazy as fuck.
Wait, no, I hit the wrong one.
This is dick crazy.
Yeah, it was dick crazy. That's what they go out there and just like.
Oh my god.
Who gets that job? Who's the lucky?
I don't know, but I'm guessing. I don't know who. I mean,
but they got
I don't know. Pumps? But like the Nazis did this, right? They had like kind of like birthing areas, or like they wanted to preserve like the white women that they thought it was like their duty to like breed perfect.
Get your hand off my penis!
Children for the Nazi state or whatever, and they promoted more births, right? So like so they're doing the same thing. I don't know who's doing it, but they're doing it. That would make for some crazy Jerry Springer shit.
You want to do Jerry?
I would watch Jerry Springer Israel version probably.
Now,
because it would probably be fucking crazy, fucked up, but like.
So the Zionists would be on there and like, Jerry, my husband, he was with the IDF, and I know they stole his semen and gave it to an Arab woman. Oh, that's amazing. How did they get the semen out?
Get your hand off my penis!
There's gonna be some fucked up stories in a few years because like whoever it is that they're birthing with like the sperm of dead soldiers, I don't know if they're like lying to them and saying that they're like they have real parents.
That sounds like a witch's ingredients. Eye of newt, sperm of dead Zionist soldiers. Nutmeg.
It's disgusting.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. But I would not want that job. That's almost like being I think that's worse than being a fluffer in the porn industry. What a fluffer that he comes along and he makes the penis hard, right? Yeah. That I've never had that job either. Although I applied, but they said, no, we're going to get somebody else. So sad face. I heard it was good money, but no, I couldn't go out there and like, steal semen from anybody, much less, somebody that could, is evil and and help them procreate. No. I don't know how we got off on that. I say got off, you know what I'm saying?
Sorry.
Yeah, that's the sorry. So
you do it because you've got a nipple fetish, motherfucker.
I don't. Well, I do, but I wouldn't go after somebody's penis. Listen, we got other goodies. We could talk about dead soldier penis all night. So we seriously, we could. But we got Diddy, the clock, and
CJ says no, it's worse. They stick a probe up their ass that shocks their prostate with electricity. So that now you know.
They stick a probe up their ass. Oh yeah, because you can milk the prostate. Like they do that with bulls, right? Somebody will stick their hand up a bull's ass, right? And then they'll, wiki, and then yeah, I mean, again, I'm not doing that job because
I get my kicks above the waistline, sunshine.
Exactly. I don't do penis or shove hands up asses. Speaking of hands up asses, you want to do the Diddy one? You want to?
Yeah, let's do the Diddy. So Henry Jolly Core, who's like my favorite streamer ever right now. I don't know why. I just fucking weird, but
I gotta say, when on one of your epic mega streams, and you had this guy on, and I told you that this is future Willie Bragg, and you're like, stop! He's not future Willie Bragg. But the reason I say it is because this is like Willie in about 50 years, and his hair is gonna be gone. He's still gonna have the cool eyebrows, and he's still gonna be dropping those mad truth bombs. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I call him future Willie Bragg. But it's definitely not a slam. So should I just play it from the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi. Namaste. My name is Henry Jolicoeur. I'm a French-Canadian hypnotherapist, psychotherapist that has worked with thousands of clients. And my special field of interest is brainwashing and mind control by cults. Today I would like to talk about the case of Diddy that you see here. Over the years I have seen Diddy that you see here. Over the years I have seen Diddy with crosses in his neck.
Many Christopher Walken. I have seen Diddy. Wow.
Always wearing a cross. Like declaring that he is a Christian, someone that knows about Jesus Christ. Over the last few months, there's hundreds of videos on YouTube accusing Diddy of having sex with man, woman, underage, man and woman. But for me, the most shocking is the revelation by this lawyer that Diddy is also a pedophile.
Oh yeah.
Listen.
Another instance, this individual who was 9 years old at the time was taken to a audition in New York City with Bad Boy Records. Other boys were there to audition as well. All of them were trying to land a record deal. All of them were minors. This individual was sexually abused, allegedly by Sean Combs and several other people at the studio in the promise to both his parents and
this poor lady.
To him himself of getting a record deal. Another instance, another minor, told allegedly by Sean Combs that he would make him a star, but he needed to visit with him in private about it, away from his parents. Once they were in a private area, allegedly Mr. Combs made the victim perform oral sex upon him.
Although not proven yet, someone came forward to say that they were sexually abused when they were 9-year-olds. So that.
Well, he's like basically the black Jeffrey Epstein at this point, right? I mean, didn't him and Epstein hang out?
You know what? Like, I mean, I know that you can't prevent all types of sexual abuse and stuff like that, but you really gotta, like, what are parents doing? Like, why are they letting their kids alone? Like, are they auditioning their kids? Like, and allowing them to be alone with these, like, famous and influential people?
Right? I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, I don't have kids, but if I did, I sure as fuck wouldn't let them hang around these people.
People are really brainwashed. Like, obviously, like, I feel like, I think Joe Biden is a pedophile. Like, I don't know. I guess it's not proven, but I think he is. Like, he's always like sniffing kids and stuff. And remember, like how like Democrats are like, the blue MAGA people are like so they're like convinced that this isn't true for whatever reason, even though he's like clearly sniffing kids in public. Mm-hmm. And people will still be like standing next to Joe Biden with their kids and like allowing him to touch their. It's like, don't.
You think the handlers are telling these parents like, yeah, this will be a great thing for you? It's like telling them that the parents will get some benefit out of their kid
getting parents
sniffed.
Are a part of it. What other explanation is there? I mean, I don't want to be like, maybe the parents don't know, but maybe they're a part of it too.
Well, when you say that reminds me of like the little girls that in the little beauty pageant things. Where it's like they make the kids wear like all this adult makeup and stuff, and it's just like very creepy. And you've heard stories of like these beauty pageant like judges and stuff like that. Getting with the parent, sometimes getting with the parents and getting with the kids. If you want to win this contest, you're gonna have. It's like
they're pimping out their kids. I mean.
It is.
I mean, it's not like it hasn't happened before in history. Like people, I mean, maybe some of these people are not aware. Maybe some of these kids are like people that don't have a lot of parental support. That's possible. Or maybe people are pimping out their kids. Like, you got to wonder.
It's a sick world we're living in, Lucy. I mean, nothing surprises me anymore. And for that shit, I mean, if they're burning kids alive and getting away with it, then of course, then you got human trafficking too, where it's like young women and young girls too are getting trafficked. It all goes back to Jeffrey Epstein. I'm not saying he did every one of them, but that's a form of you get these high profile power people to come to your island and do all this illegal shit that they can get away with there, and then all of a sudden there's pictures, and then there's blackmail, and then we want you to do stuff for us, that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Let's continue with the future Willie here.
Makes Diddy a pedophile, and I have a complete disgust for pedophile. I know, and studies of all kinds have shown the emotional, mental damages that can occur when a child is sexually abused. I don't mind that you have sex with women that are not underage. I don't even mind that he has sex with men as long as they are not underage. But having sex with children, as Michael Jackson did, is disgusting. We have seen Diddy over the years with so many pictures of himself with a cross around his neck. And some believe that Diddy was really a Christian and knew about the teaching of Jesus Christ. But what did Jesus say about pedophile? What did he say about giving a bad example to children? That's what he said. But whoever caused one of these little ones who believes in me to stumble, it would be better for him to have a heavy millstone hung around his neck and to be drowned in the depth of the sea.
There you go. Right? Yeah, he's absolutely right. I mean, but it's I think Rick said in the chat that money plays a lot into it too. Some of these people get paid off in order to and then it goes back to what you said, pimping out the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matthew 18:6. Jesus is all about love, kindness, compassion, But when it came to pedophilia, he recommended the death penalty. Throw them in the ocean.
Some things never change.
There's an old Indian scripture called the Bhagavad Gita, and it says that there's really 3 ways to bring a hellish condition to one's mind. One is lust, anger, and greed, and it looks like Diddy was deep into lust. Those so-called freakouts, sometimes many days, using drugs to increase the lust and the exploitation of woman and man.
Wait, what? Why does he keep saying lust?
He has a funny way of talking, but he does expose the cults. So and every day there's like something new on this channel. It's amazing.
Look, I've listened to this guy on your show before, and I was just like right on. But the way he talks, I mean, I and I'm just one of these people. It's like, look, if you're gonna talk weird, I'm going to point it out. I'm sorry. And then it's just stuck. And then I missed the message. That's why I never could go to church for too long, because the preacher would say some really crazy shit and then be like, wait, what? And then I'm like, what the fuck were you just saying? Yeah, that's right. That's right. Lust. Let's continue, because he's saying some good stuff.
Now in the homosexual community, there is sham sex, which is basically the same, using crystal meth, GHB, ecstasy, and other drugs to increase the duration of the sexual activities, to increase the lust. This is very, very far from the basic teaching of Jesus Christ, to love God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and thy neighbor as thyself. This is no love of neighbor. This is exploitation of man, woman, children, to satisfy the basic instinct of lust. I am completely disgusted when a man has a sexual activity with a child. Hundreds of research have shown the psychological, emotional damages caused to a child when he is sexually exploited by adults. This is something that he or she will have to carry throughout their whole life. If it is proven that Diddy is also a pedophile, and that those who accuse him of having sex with them when they were children, well, if it was up to me, I would put Diddy in jail for the rest of his natural life. Thank you very much.
I don't think he has a natural life. I think he's just like some sort of like space alien type person. So, or, like from the planet Hell. Yeah, even though future Willie Bragg here has like some sort of speech impediment, what he is saying is absolutely right. That if Jesus was here, he would be like, okay, yeah, we're gonna drown all these motherfuckers. Everybody's going in the drink. We have other stuff here too. I know you could talk about Diddy all night, or Scene, as he called him. He called him instead of Sean, because apparently he only knows one spelling of the name Sean. So when he saw that, he said Scene, and then he said Diddy, Diddy, or did he not? Do you want to do the CIA project thing one, or do you want to go to the clock tower thing? I think you're muted.
Sorry, I don't know about the clock tower thing. Let's do the Hare Krishna.
All right, Hare Krishna it is then. So, you want to set this up?
All right, so here's the thing with the Hare Krishna. I just kind of like, I was curious about what you think about this article, because like I covered it on my show before, but this is crazy, right? Could you actually like read it? Like normally I read a little bit,
okay,
but my voice is fried today, so.
Well, yeah, I'm totally willing.
Like
all right,
paragraph?
so this is was ISKCON, a CIA project by Miles Mathis. This is first published in March of last year. It feels like the morning now. I got into this in my usual serendipitous way. I rewatched Hannah and Her Sisters recently, and there's a scene where Woody is confused after thinking he had a brain tumor and is thinking of converting to a new religion. He tries Catholicism first, and the script makes fun of that with him buying a couple of crucifixes, Wonder Bread, and a jar of mayonnaise. It is sort of amusing, I admit, if you don't understand what he is up to on a deeper level. Next, he goes down to the park and talks to the Hare Krishnas dancing in the grass. They give him some literature. So that was some sort of bouncing around in my head when today I put on some 70s music to listen to while making some pancakes, as is required by law. If you're making pancakes, you are obliged to play 70s music at the same time. That's not in the script. That's just an addendum by me. Half my stuff is still in storage, as you may know. I did not know that, but thank you for letting me know. So I don't have access to my considerable vinyl collection. So I had to rely on a YouTube compilation. Anyway, George Harrison's My Sweet Love came up, and it's Hare Krishna themes. So that whole question came up again. Why were the Beatles selling that crap in the late 60s, early 70s? Now that we know that LaRouche and Coleman were mostly, with some major misdirection, right, and that the Beatles were indeed an Intel project, not of Tavistock, but of MI6 directly through BCS, we should ask the question in my title, were the Hare Krishnas just a bunch of military actors selling Project Chaos again? Was this just another peg in the old Theosophy project to kill Christianity? Yes. It is pretty obvious now. We can tell just from the name. ISKCON, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Shouldn't that be ISKC then? No, because they need to get con in there because they are conning us. Ah, clever. They love to tell us right to our faces it is one of their favorite things. Most people think the Hare Krishnas were started by Swami Prabhupada. Oh, great. More names to butcher. But that I butcher names all the time. But that is just the usual fake name for him to hide behind. He was born Abhay Sharan. Does that look a little suspicious? Seems a little off for an Indian name, doesn't it? I will give you a minute to think about it. What could it be hiding? Abhay Sharan equals Abby Cohen. Abby Cohen. I keep telling you they think we are really stupid. No one has figured this out in 56 years. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, so basically the whole thing is so basically what they're saying is basically like their ties to the British royal family. The guy that started Hare Krishna allegedly was like a half Jewish trader that represented the East India Company.
Okay.
In India, and they got him to like travel to New York City in the 70s to start handing out public literature in the park and start the Hare Krishna. And he like immediately gained like who the fuck gains overnight success handing out literature in the park to hippies, right? So allegedly he was like promoted. He was like promoted by the deep state, and the idea is kind of like to blow up the Indian religion, the Hindu religion. I mean, they've done this a lot, right? With like, with Zionism, they kind of blew up the Jewish religion. So like now, people don't trust them, but they also blew up the Muslim religion at the same time by like introducing ISIS and like all of this shit, right?
Yeah.
The Hare Krishna is, I guess, I got interested in it because there's a lot of Indians this year in like the Republican primary. There was like Vivek Ramaswamy and Nikki Haley and Tulsi Gabbard, who's not Indian but she's Hindu, right? And the Republic, like the I guess right wing fanatics, I guess you could say, like they pretend that the Hindu religion cannot be extreme, but they have their extremists, just like has happened with every other religion, right?
Yeah.
So the Hare Krishna is like particularly weird because Tulsi Gabbard was in this like basically I guess you could say it's like the Scientology of Hinduism. It's not even Hinduism, it's like the Scientology of Hinduism.
Nice.
And it's like this thing called the ISKCON, which is like the International Society of Krishna Consciousness. And it's not even the Hare Krishna, it's like an offshoot of the Hare Krishna, which is even fucking weirder. And she follows that weird surfer guy, Chris Butler, right? But the fact, even like the original Hare Krishna, which allegedly like now is kind of like losing its weirdness a little bit because a lot of the people that actually attend these services are just like Indian immigrants. So they're not like kind of, I would, they're not like intense hippies that are like, devoted to living on the commune in West Virginia, like, back when this shit started in the 70s. But they actually did all this, like they started the Hare Krishna in New York. This is like a new religion, the Hare Krishna, that started in the 70s. And they even had this guy, I don't remember what his name is. He like started a Hare Krishna commune in West Virginia. He got a bunch of his cult followers to follow him. And then surprise, surprise, it turns out he was like, involved in all of these sexual scandals and stuff. Just like P. Diddy.
Right.
Because these people are a bunch of freaks. Like,
well, who is Abby Cohen? Who is this person?
Well, Abby Cohen is like, if you scroll down, it's like this guy. Like, go scroll down the article. That's Abby Cohen.
That's Abby Cohen?
Yes.
Okay. I want to read this up here though, because this was a little bit about Abby Cohen, if I can get back up here. So it says he was educated at the Scottish Church College in Calcutta, which had been founded by Peer Alexander Duff. They tell us Duff's father was a gardener, but that is the usual fudge. He comes from the Duff baronets of Isle of Wight, probably linking forward to Gordon Duff of Veterans Today. They are related to the Astleys, as in Rick Astley of disco fame, right? Never going to give you up, never going to let you down, never going to run around and hurt you. Also related to the Vivians, the Brabazons, Dunbars, and Hussies, linking him to Olivia Hussey, who just sued Paramount and Zeffirelli's family for $500 million for child abuse for showing her breasts 54 years ago in Romeo and Juliet. This is bizarre. So Project Chaos and Split the Sexes continues apace. Also related to the Middletons and Scotts, like Kate Middleton, I guess linking us forward to Kate Middleton. Also related to the Howards, Earls of Effingham. That sounds like you're trying to say Fuckingham, but you just say Effingham. Linking us to the Stuarts and the king himself. Forward from the time of Alexander Duff, the Duffs link us to the Manners. Arundel's, Paget's, Herbert's, Tennant's, Redmayne's, like Eddie Redmayne, basically all the top families of British intelligence. That's wild. So all these people are linked like this with this guy?
Yes. British intelligence is crazy. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Piers Morgan was related to them, you know?
Well, I mean, how do people get these high position media jobs like that? You know, it's either connections or they are, you know.
Like that fucking idiot, Chris Cuomo. It's like,
yeah.
How does that guy have a job, you know?
His brother was governor of New York. And where's CNN? In New York. So, you know, and that's the thing. They're all in bed together. What else can you tell us about this? The Hare Krishnas just seems kind of, I don't know, just out of place, because a lot of people don't really take the Hare Krishnas seriously. Like, their only recollection of them is seeing them giving out flowers at the airport. Well,
here's the thing with the Hare Krishna. Like, people, so that's what I used to think too, but then until I looked into the whole Tulsi Gabbard thing. But here's the thing, like, the Hare Krishna are not dead, because the International Society for Krishna Consciousness continues to expand and expand and expand, and it has loads of followers, in the West Coast, Hawaii, the Philippines, even in New York, like everywhere. And it's just that they're not all like outside, like chanting in orange robes and a tambourine, but like a lot of people are following this religion thinking that they're following Hinduism. So like, so like, it's like kind of like the Christian Zionist churches and stuff. Like, people think that they're following Christianity, but they're following these like fucked up like Zionist like lunatics, right? So the Hare Krishna are still alive and well, and they have like loads. I wouldn't be surprised of millions of devotees, you know, and they have these like fucked up gurus, you know, that like convince the public that they're like really following Hinduism, and they're just like blowing smoke up your ass. So this is like a big thing.
On your show, you talked about Tulsi's guru was this guy from like Hawaii or something, right?
I don't know if he's from Hawaii
or he lives in Hawaii. Yeah,
he moved to Hawaii, and then he like he started this cult, essentially. Like, you know, he started out as a Hare Krishna, but then he was so like you know, out there or whatever, that he was too weird for the Hare Krishna, right? Or I guess you could say he had like a power struggle with the Hare Krishna, because he wanted to be his own narcissistic guru, and he didn't want like to continue following the Hare Krishnas. So he developed his own offshoot. And the whole thing with the gurus is that he said that he was the descendant of a messenger of God. You know what I mean? Like something crazy like this, which basically means you're saying that you are like like you're the messenger. You're like Jesus, Muhammad, you know, whatever it is. Like you're like one of, so, and also like in his lectures and stuff, it's not really Hinduism, because like Hindus don't talk all the time about Jesus Christ, but like these people, like, you know, they'll talk about like, it's very, what the Hare Krishnas did is that they would constantly talk about like Krishna and Christ. So they talk about that here, where it's like, why do they talk about Krishna when they could have talked about Shiva or Vishnu or any of the other like Hindu you know, deities, whatever? It's because they sound similar, so they want like Western kind of hippie Christians to kind of like latch onto something familiar, I guess. Like it's like easier for them, for Westerners, to like switch over when they latch onto something familiar.
Right. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. That's a common ploy in propaganda, to link two similar sounding
it's like two similar sounding words. Yeah. Well, that's why they chose Krishna, not like Vishnu or Shiva or any of the other like
Right, because some dumbass would say, "Oh, well, it's got to be affiliated with Christ, right? Because it's Krishna, but it's Christ." Yeah,
it's like,
I mean, I
it's
can
the
see
same.
that.
It's the same concept. It's like, no, it's a completely different. Hinduism is a completely different religion. It's not the same concept at all. I mean, I guess you could say that like all religions have maybe some similarity, and so I don't know. But like, yeah, that's how they get people to. It's like a mental word association that makes it easy to convert people. And then once people realize that the Hare Krishna is a load of shit, the propaganda like kind of like explodes in your brain, and then you don't believe in anything. You're like, fuck Krishna and fuck Christ too. I don't believe in anything, right? Because like if you actually successfully leave the cult, you're not going to go back to Christianity because it'll remind you of the whole Krishna cult. So it's like you're so like the idea where I mean I don't know how much you believe in Project Chaos, but like the idea of Project Chaos was that you would simultaneously kind of like blow up both religions at once. In this case, you blow up Hinduism and Christianity at the same time, and then you would have faith in nothing, and you just like I don't know, like worship hedonism and the television.
Well, that kind of sounds related to Project Bluebeam, if you've ever heard of that, where it's that they want you to make you think that these this alien invasion is beginning, and it's all of it is designed to where like certain religions will see their deities that they worship, like the Christians will see Jesus, the Muslims will see Muhammad, whatever, and these deities will tell their people, you know what, like if, for example, Jesus would just paraphrasing, obviously wouldn't say this, but he was like, you know, a lot of the Bible is a lot of that's full of shit. A lot of it's wrong, if not all of it, and they'll give you this alternate version of Christianity, right? In order to get you to disbelieve, the end goal is to disbelieve in these religions and to come together for one world religion. Everybody's focused on one world religion, so they come up with some deity for everybody to worship, but that's the plan. That's what it's part of Project Bluebeam. They use like holograms and stuff in order to, it sounds like science fiction, but they can do this. Have you ever seen like these shows that like these like light shows, but it's all drones, right? And they'll make these fantastic kind of pictures in the sky that look like super realistic, but it's all drones, and they're all programmed to do certain things, to fly certain areas, to make the picture look a certain way. And I think people are gonna, I mean, it's not sophisticated enough to look like totally real, but that technology is not too far away to where they'll be able to just scam people into believing that Jesus is coming back, or whatever their religion believes, and then these deities tell them all this shit that that the people who are controlling them.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like the angel Gabriel showing up in everyone's house, and like they're gonna like control us through like the manifestation of our preferred deities. That's really fucked up, Warren.
I know, but I mean, I know that sounds like some David Icke shit, but I mean, it's like, I mean, think about it though. It's like, what do you think they've been doing with Zionism? They try to make Zionism sound like every Zionist is a Jew. So if you hate Zionism, you hate the Jews, and I always say, well, no,
right.
there's regular ass Jews that aren't Zionists. Then I love those Jews, but those Zionist people, and not every Zionist is a Jew. There's Christian Zionists, like you said. There's like Catholic, like Joe Biden said he's a Zionist, and he's not Jewish. He's fucking Catholic. But they're trying to push this Zionism as like this thing to where they can get all this land in the Middle East, like in Syria and the neighboring areas, and eventually take over the world. That's the end goal. And I think that's what they're trying to do. But now that people have the internet and cell phones, they're seeing like what these Zionists are actually doing. and they're like, a hard pass on Zionism. Por favor. Listen, I know you got the little chokies there, so I'm gonna go ahead and
you gotta scroll down to the Keith Ham. So if you like look at where you see like Keith Ham is the guy that started the commune in West Virginia, right?
Oh, that guy. This guy?
Scroll down. Yeah, so this is the guy, and if you scroll down, he looks really fucked up in this next picture. Like, I think it's below on the next page. Or maybe it's on the page after that. No, maybe it's on the page after that.
Right
there
here?
He is. And then the next one has the really fucked up picture. There he is. There he is. So he's looking like Osama bin Laden in the cave over there, right? So this guy is he's the guy that started this West Virginia this commune in West Virginia, and he got arrested for racketeering, murder, and pedophilia. He was amassing like a huge fortune, a private fortune, because like these people, they would convince people to join the Hare Krishna, and then they would take all their shit.
Yeah,
basically.
He looks like Osama been eating cotton candy. You know what I mean? It's like that's what he looks like. Sorry, because he gets he looks like a fucked up Santa Claus. So, I mean, that's what a lot of these cult leader type people or these guru type peoples who are doing this shit. There usually are some like criminal charges. There's always some sort of like shit like pedophilia, or they're like, money laundering or some shit like that. That's just wild.
And allegedly, I don't know, like I don't know about when or where this happened, but allegedly they would also like say random things. So allegedly, they would have like a Hare Krishna, like praise Hitler, or
wow,
talk about like black people, or something like this, right? And like the purpose of that would be like to, like
praising Hitler.
Like, the Hindus are really fucked up, right? But what it is the Hare Krishnas. It's not the Hindus. It's the Hare Krishnas. So,
well, this says he did. Abby Cohen turned the Hare Krishnas into a huge deal in the West, then exploded them by praising Hitler, attacking Jews, attacking the poor, attacking blacks, attacking women, and everything else he could think of. I guess he didn't like little boys, or he would have molested them too. Yeah, so, and it says, why explode their own project? Because this wasn't just an attack on Christianity, it was an attack on religion as a whole. Abby explicitly tied Krishna to Christ, like you said. Like I said, this sounds like a lot like Project Bluebeam, where they're like trying to destroy these religions in order to have like this super religion or belief to get people to brainwash them further. That's just wild, man. I mean, when I was listening to your show about this, I was just blown away. I was just like, really? I never thought that the Krishnas, like I said, I was like these people who thought they're just
I
like
used to think
at
that
the
they
airport.
were just like, they're tired of regular life, and now they're like living homeless because they don't want to do their 9 to 5 anymore. I literally thought that was it, and then when I got into it, I was like, holy shit! Like,
But what about the people like the Krishnas at the airports? Do you think they're just like the garden variety Krishnas who have no idea what's going on in the upper echelon of this thing? Kind of like Scientology.
Probably. I mean, you could go to a Christian Zionist church and like be a totally normal person your entire life and not really believe in the whole because like let's say you live in a small town and there's like an evangelical Christian Zionist church or something. I mean, even in the Bronx, there's like so many of them.
There are. Yeah, and they have a bunch down south too. There are a lot of Zionists down south.
And people, they're not going to church for the Zionism. They're just going to church, right? So like if the group is like attached to some weird stuff, but you're like maybe people are just going there for like the service or the food pantry, but then they get sucked into all this other shit. So that's
they
like
do
the thing.
They do it subtly, because like when I was in the Baptist church down south, you got a lot of, I guess you could say, propaganda about Israel, right? And how they were the chosen people, that Israel was the promised land. You got that drilled into your head that the Jews not only deserved to be in Israel, that they were Israel, right? And you can't separate Jews from Israel, where it's like, and you don't get the part where it was like, oh, well, yeah, the Nakba, and in the 1947, then they partitioned the land called Palestine. You hear about Palestine in the Bible, but you don't hear about the modern stuff, and that's by design, to kind of brainwash you into thinking that the Israelis, the Zionists there, can do no wrong, right? My older sisters, I told them, I said, I can't get behind these Zionists that are killing these children over there, and I think one of them said, "You mean you're pulling for the Palestinians?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm pulling for the Palestinians because I don't like to see babies killed." But that's the thing. It's just like they don't want to think outside. That's another thing that the church does down there. And I'm not slamming religion or whatever. If you believe whatever and it makes you a better person, that's great. But a lot of these people are taught this kind of stuff, and I gotta believe there's a higher agenda behind that, even in these small towns, to get people to think the same way. Yeah,
and it's not just a small town thing. It's like any poor area. Like most of the evangelical churches, it's I mean, the Hare Krishna is like a little weirder in the West in the sense that it's like orange, people clad in orange and stuff. We don't really have like a Hindu or Buddhist tradition here where that's like normal. So here it's like until the Indian community came in and made it more normal. So actually, like the Indians that are joining the International Society for Krishna Consciousness are probably like making this movement probably even more mainstream, right? Because then if you go to one of these centers, you might not even know that it was like some weird fucking cult started in the 70s by British intelligence. You might think that it's just like a bunch of Indians, for real, that like joined the International Society, and like maybe some white people intermixed in. I don't know, but like you might think it's just Hinduism is what I'm saying, because the International Society for Krishna Consciousness now, it's like there's like centers all over the place. It's not the stereotype where they're like going around with tambourines anymore. So
right.
this is like, actually, it's even more dangerous now than it was then, because like back in the 70s, it was like, oh, hippie commune,
Yeah.
You can stay away from that. You're like hippie commune. But like now it's like, you don't know who's in this international society, the Christian Zionists. It's like all of this is like actual mainstream religion now. And all our mainstream religion is like completely corrupt and, by all these fucked up people. So there's like British intelligence everywhere up in like they're like shaping Christian Zionism. They're like shaping Hinduism, like so-called Hinduism, So it's like, it's pretty fucked up. Like, I wonder if they shaped like Kwanzaa.
You need to do a little research and do a stream on Kwanzaa. I would totally watch 7 hours.
Because that one started in the 60s or something. Kwanzaa started like in the 60s or 70s, right?
Yeah, I think it started in the 60s and 70s. It didn't really gain prominence until later, like once, like probably in the 90s, I think it started becoming more of a big deal. I think. But yeah, I think it was kind of like this fringe thing in the 60s and 70s, and then it became a little more mainstream probably about 20 years later. So, but that's how it is. A lot of these start off as fringe, and then if enough people talk about it to enough people, it's like then it becomes mainstream, and then I mean, I don't even know what Kwanzaa is about, really.
I have no idea. I maybe I'm. It has nothing to do, and maybe it was started just by some random person that wanted a different holiday. I have no idea. Here it says it was created by Maulana Karenga, author of African American Studies.
Now, I don't want anybody out there to think, if you actually celebrate and take Kwanzaa seriously, that's all well and good. That's, you probably have more insight into it than either one of us.
Yeah, I don't know anything.
I don't know anything about it either. I just know it's around Christmas time, and yeah. But there's no stockings, there's no tree or anything, so I kind of lost
actually,
interest.
this is interesting. It says during the early years of Kwanzaa, Karenga said it was meant to be an alternative to Christmas, so he believed Jesus was psychotic and Christianity was a white religion that black people should shun. As Kwanzaa gained mainstream adherence, he altered his position so practicing Christians would not be alienated.
Well, it does make sense because a lot of the evangelicals consider Jesus to be white, and the guy is Middle Eastern. He's definitely wasn't white,
right?
You know, but that's the thing. I mean, you know, you go down to any like Christian churches in the South, and you'll see pictures of white Jesus all over the place. So, you know, which was also my name in college because I could walk on water. Because I could run real fast, but I turned wine into pee a lot because I was a drinker at the time. So kind of low budget, Jesus. But anyway, listen, we could talk about this.
So we went over.
We went over Krishna. We went over a little bit of Kwanzaa. We went over like these gurus. We talked about Tulsi Gabbard and the fake bullshit that she's got going on with her. You know, Hawaiian dude, whatever he is. It's just, this is just too much for my brain, Lucy. I mean, seriously, you know, you got to do Kwanzaa. You got to expose Kwanzaa.
I don't know anything about Kwanzaa, so
that's why you got to find out and expose it. Was this Mark Robinson, who is an African-American Republican in North Carolina running for governor, called himself a black Nazi and said Kwanzaa is Hanukkah on food stamps. Holy shit. He said it's Hanukkah on food. Wow. This is the guy. Oh, I know this guy. This guy running for North. Hey, that guy is out there. That's another one you need to look at. Is this guy Mark Robinson in North Carolina? He's
my God.
There's some fun ones out there, Lucy. Listen, we gotta get out of here because you're sick, and you know we don't want you coughing anymore. But we're gonna save our flavor for because you're gonna come back on another time, right? Do you like this time of night? You think you can do this? I mean, not all the time, but just like whenever you want, right? You always have an open invitation.
All right.
So
thank you.
Yeah. So next time we'll have some more goodies. Maybe we could talk about Kwanzaa next time. Maybe by that time.
Maybe by that time I can study.
Well, maybe you'll feel a little better too, and I hope you feel better too. You got a little bit of the bronchosaurus down there, so I hear you. It's this time of year with like the temperature changes and shit like that, and it's just like kind of catches you off guard. So I hope you feel better. So
all right.
Have a good night, sweetie, and everybody in the chat, have a good night. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna be back Monday morning with Morning Extra, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Oh, I gotta do this too. This is a fun little thing. Watch this. This is coming up Halloween night, so we're gonna be screening Nosferatu from 1922, which is when I was born. 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, on this fucking channel here, and we're gonna show the movie and get your popcorn, get ready to get all scary. And another programming note: come November 1st, the next day, the show Morning Extra is going to be an hour later, so it's going to be 11 a.m. Eastern, 10, 9, 8, 7 p.m. 7 a.m. Say, I don't even know what time it is. Fuck it. I gotta get a watch. Anyway, you know the thing, as Biden said. Have a good night, sweetie. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Have a peace out. Whatever. Fuck it.
There can be only one.
Yeah!